What's the matter?
Yo, what is going on, my friends? Today, back with another video. Today we've got a super easy tutorial you can do all in Premiere or all in After Effects, however you want to do it. And the best thing about this is it's very customizable, it's very cool, very unique. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create something which is called the clone cannon effect. And yes, I just came up with that name. I thought it kind of represented how this effect looked pretty well. I think it's a lot more interesting name than just calling it masking zoom or something stupid like that. So anyways, I'm going to be calling it the clone cannon effect, actually building off of one of my tutorials I put out a few days ago where I talked about how to create some cool effects with freeze framing transitions and stuff like that. Today I'm going to take that one step further and I'm going to show you another creative little trick you can do. So here's a little clip from my next music video coming out. We're going to be using this to create this freeze frame transition, and I would recommend that you guys actually find a spot where the subject is in the very middle of your screen. It's going to look the best that way. So for this example, he's a little bit off to the right. He's not really in the center, but it's still going to look cool. So I'm going to go ahead and make this effect happening right here. So once you find the place where you'd like to create that effect, we're going to use some of the similar steps I talked about in creating those freeze frame transitions. So first steps first, what we're going to do is we're going to make a cut wherever we'd like our effect to start. So Control K. We're going to move over one frame. So click the right arrow key on your keyboard just once, and then go ahead and make another cut like that. So we have one frame selected out of this timeline right here. What we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that frame. So hold down Alt on your keyboard, just drag that frame up like that. So we've got a duplicated frame on top of that frame. I'm going to right click on that duplication we just made, and I'm going to click add frame hold, and then I'm going to drag the duration out of this and just scrub around. If you did that correctly, once you scrub around, you'll see that this isn't moving. It's just a frozen frame. So let's go ahead and get that freeze frame part that we want. To be able to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to crop out just the subject, and we're going to erase any of the background. So we've got a clone of just the subject frozen in time, just one frame that we selected. So to do that, let's go ahead and click on this little arrow and open up our effects library. And then let's go ahead and search for the crop effect. Apply that onto your duplicated clip right here. And then come up here in the top left to your effect controls, and then go ahead and click this little pen tool. Make a click right here at the bottom, and then click the squiggly key at the top of your keyboard. It's a little bit under escape. That'll bring up full screen. 100% easier to mask out in full screen. So make sure you're doing this in full screen. And what we're going to do is just draw a nice mask around him like this. The good thing about this is only one frame, so you're not going to have to go frame by frame and do this every time. You're only going to have to create one mask. It's actually very simple. I recommend that you use these bending joints just to make it as accurate as possible. But the good thing about this is because we're applying some effects onto it, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so here's the mask that I just went ahead and did. If I full screen, you'll see it isn't perfect. What we're going to do is just make some tweaks to fix it a little bit. So come over here to your effect controls, go ahead and just click inverted and then make left 100%. So what we just did is if I hide this bottom layer, now we have an isolated layer of just him cut out from the background, just the subject. If we go ahead and click on here and then go through our effect controls, you can change any of the mask feather just to kind of smoothen those edges out. I think that looks about fine, but if you do want to adjust the mask anyway, what you can do is click on this thing right under crop. This is mask 1, click the full screen again, and then you can move any of this however you would like it. All right, so now we've got that masked out. As you see, if I move along, it just stays here frozen in time. Now what we can do is apply some effects on here that are going to make that shoot. It's actually very simple. All we need to do now is apply any kind of zoom effect. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to make a cut and just bring up this footage so that it's next to our freeze frame. And we're going to make a transition from our frozen frame footage, which is this, into our next footage, which is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down shift and click to the left once like that. You can also make it twice, however long you'd like the transition to last. Control K, shift to the right, and then shift to the right again. Make a cut here, Control K. If you'd like a slower tutorial talking about how to make transitions, I can link you some below. Also, I just want to mention that I'm using my transition pack, which is found on my website if you would like to go check that out. Preset transitions, which you can get for Premiere and After Effects. Those are what's giving me the crazy kind of ripples and stuff like that, but you guys can use any kind of zoom effect you like onto here to get it to shoot towards the screen. There's a lot of free ones out there. There's a lot of ones that you guys might already know about, so any zoom effect will work. If you want the ones that look like my examples, like I said, go ahead and check out my deluxe pack, transition pack, all on my website for you guys to check out. Go ahead and nest these two clips right here. like that, and then all we have to do is apply a transition onto them. So I'm just going to look up transition in my effect library, and right here we have Max Novak Transition Pack version 1, and for that example I applied the ripple zoom onto there. You can also use any variations. There's bulge zoom, Patronus zoom. You're gonna get different looks for each, and as you see, it just kind of shoots at the screen. If you don't want it to keep zooming, what you can do is actually make a cut wherever the middle is, and you can just remove any of these effects like this. So what you have is only just the freeze frame just shooting at the screen like that. And then we've got some more effects here that I've already put into the music video. This full music video will be dropping within a few days, so you guys will be able to check that out. But as you see, it ripples in, and like I said, it works best if the person's in the center of the screen, because if they're not, you might have to go in and actually change where the center of this ripple is. I'm just going to show you some other variations depending on what transition you put onto this clip. There's some where you can make it go upside down. Any kind of real zoom or real motion that makes it shoot towards the screen is going to make this work. Here's upside down zoom. And this is happening very quick because this is only 5 frames over. Ghost distort zoom, something like that. That looks pretty cool. Shoots towards the screen in this kind of like ghost fashion. If you do make it in the center, it's going to look something like this. Freeze frame it, shoots toward the screen, and then just kind of like goes away. You can apply any glow or flickering just to kind of stylize that if you'd like. And that's about it. So basically all you need to do is create a freeze frame like I showed you from that earlier freeze frame transition video. Make that freeze frame above your footage, and then just apply a zoom effect onto the freeze frame and cut away any of the zoom you don't want, and it'll shoot towards the screen in this cool little clone cannon effect. If you guys enjoyed that, leave a like on this video, subscribe here if you're new. We got regular content, music videos, a bunch of new stuff and cool stuff coming out if you guys are new here. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.